I'm Pop. I love movies. I laugh. I cry. I enjoy every bit of a film as much as I can to a certain point, but I'm optimistic about finding the awesome things that stand out. Unlike my friend here,
I'm Flix, and I love to critique the crap out of movies. I love movies to death, but with all the crap that Hollywood is putting in our movies nowadays, someone needs to take a stand.
we are Pop Flix.
Hello, everyone out there. This is another installment of Self-In-Flix-tions featuring Flix, and today I'm going to be tackling the second part of the Harry Potter saga. And it's kind of interesting that you reach a certain point when it's no longer a trilogy, it's no longer a quadrilogy, and you just give up on calling it anything. You're just like, everything else after is just going to be a saga. Today, handling Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. Released in 2002, long-ass movie. Like, these movies are set for, like, young teens and, you know, still relatively young people. This is rated, PG? And it's 2 hours and 40 goddamn minutes long. Who makes movies for children that are 2 hours and 40 goddamn minutes long? I don't care if you're basing it off of a goddamn book, make it a two-parter then. But not, like, having a kid have to sit down in this movie for 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's fucking torture to a parent having to go see this. With that being said, you notice there's a bit of a pattern. Last one was the first Harry Potter, this one's the second one. Gonna see where this takes, might try to do all of them, might not. Hey, it's only time will tell. Before we start, today's episode is brought to you by Shudder. More about that at the end. But with that, let's get started. Watching the DVD, for all you old school people out there. Warner Brother logo in the clouds. So, I do wonder if it was enough effort that they had to CGI these clouds, or if these are legit, they just get a camera going through the clouds. Now, I don't think they're going to find the letters up there, but, that's why you add that in post. You get that John, I think it's John Williams score. And then, a shit ton of manufactured homes. Damn, I've never been to London. Does it really look like this? Where, every goddamn home's the exact same? Ugh. Cut in on our protagonist, a year older, crying over his dead parents. I mean, get over him. You never even knew him. Ugh. Also, that baby in that picture looks far older than Harry Potter did in the first movie when he was being dropped off. Then we get the abusive relatives. People talking about how the plan was to make it so Harry wasn't overexposed to the Wizarding World and didn't become a little shithead like Malfoy. This is the point in your life where you take him away from there. Him not having to go to the Dursleys would be such a better situation. And the books might explain why he's, constantly sent back there. But the movies never do. They just, expect you to believe that these super kind people that he met in the Wizarding World are just well, your parents can't be that bad. Well, your relatives you're staying with can't be that bad. So we're going to we're going to just send you back. That'll be fine. And then Uncle Vernon, having given the room to Harry out of the goodness of his heart, with his size, I'm surprised it's not the goodness of his heart attack. But Petunia's face in this is yeah, what the fuck are you gonna do? Huh? Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Honestly, I think she has like 2 lines in this entire movie. It's such a great like role to be cast in. Probably get paid a fair amount of money just to say 2 lines in a movie and give a facial expression like you want a child to go fuck himself. Uh, if I walked into the room and I'd seen a magical creature I'd never seen before just standing on my bed, I'd probably just shut my door right back away, walk back downstairs, and be like, "Hey guys, there's something weird on my bed. Like, I know you guys don't care, but it might be a magical creature that could fuck things up for you guys tonight. So, and given our track record, I think we should go investigate." But no, he's just like, "Oh, hey, it's it's okay." Uh, it's also hilarious that like Harry's not taught any of the etiquette in the Wizarding World, and it's not like house elves, it's not like to them house elves should be treated differently, but to the rest of the Wizarding World, they are. They're not seen on equal footing. So when you're asking him to do things like that, you're really asking for problems. Also, I really feel like if there's some protection over Harry's house, like not that they ever explain it in the movies, but if there's supposed to be some level of protection over Harry's house to keep him safe, a house elf should not be able to sneak in. Because, like, what if he was just sent there to flat out kill Harry? That would that wouldn't be a really good protection to have it just be like, "Oh yeah, no magical creatures or anything like that can do anything to you, except for house elves. House elves can get in there. Just middle of the night, one just snaps in, stabs him in the face. No more Harry Potter, ha 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 ha." But it's also really, I'm not going to say clever, but it's really interesting that he gets all this exposition via these people that just randomly come to meet him. Also, second year, still no glasses in his glasses. But he lucks out on he's not the boy who lived, he's the boy who got fucking lucky. Like, every time that he something happens that can only happen in one way for it to go well, and it's not even like directly pertaining to him. It's like this. It's like Dobby just randomly showing up. Dobby shows up to give him a warning, but like if that house elf hadn't been in the Malfoy's family, Harry Potter would have been screwed over this year. Although technically he would have actually had things a lot better. Let's honestly think about it. If Dobby hadn't shown up, like most of the stuff in this wouldn't have been happening. Would never have gotten in trouble. He'd been getting the letters from his friends, and they, nothing bad would be happening here. He would have just gone to Hogwarts like usual. Things would have been hunky-dory. Like, Dobby is a detriment to this entire story right now. There's nothing that Dobby adds besides creating, like, useless conflict. And for for being obedient to so many other things, they hear him run around the thing, but they don't hear him fly down the stairs. Like, ugh. Also, if I was in this position, the moment I see him snap his fingers to lift that cake, I'm walking back upstairs. I'm just going to my room and just ignoring the entire situation. And just pretending like I'm not even a part of this. Because the only reason he gets implicated in this is because he's standing right freaking behind it. But the pictures of Dudley in this house are so hilarious. But also, if everybody else in the room turned one direction and like you're talking to these people and everybody looks up at this one place, you normally would look there. These people that had the pudding dropped on their head, their own damn fault. So yes, at this point, all that Dobby has done is get iron bars put on Harry's door. Like, seriously, like, I'm hard-pressed to know if Harry's glasses ever actually have glass in them. I know there's some scenes that people say they are, but I've never seen them, and it seems glasses don't, like, to look like you have glasses, you don't need them to be magnified. They can be, just a window pane, glass where it's not magnifying, it's not, detracting. It is literally just glass. But no, they don't give him that. I don't know why. He's 12 years old. He should be able to wear glasses like an adult. But opens up the car. E.T.'s in there. Gosh. It's a soulless caravan. A crap ton of gingers. Also, like, it's Dobby taking the letters and not replying that makes them all worry about him. So they come and save him. So Dobby just also created the answer to his problem. How did they unhitch the car? Like, they had that thing hitched to the back of it and they pulled the thing off, but how did they get it off so quickly? And then he nearly gets away scot-free. And then they pull out. Pull out. And damn near kill his uncle. Like, if that shrub hadn't been there and they just killed Uncle Vernon, how much shit would they have been in? And then we have that dramatic triumphant music as they fly off, having almost killed an innocent man. Yay, this just happened to coincide on his birthday, too. So many coincidences. With the concept of magic in this universe, why is there any purpose for poverty whatsoever? Like, the Weasleys are, they're poor wizards, but they still, why? Like, with how many things can be created via magic, it seems like there should be no reason for them to be poor. And look at their house, they got so much shit there. And the mystical pan that washes itself that's been in, like, every time you see this house. It's also funny that, like, yeah, we have little spoons, but where's everybody else in the house at this point in time? But no, it's also nice, like, that they have their own sort of, like, magical things. But not everything has to be magic in a house of magic. Like, I know that sounds contradictory, but no, they just have to have everything looking magic for some strange reason. So, your beds are empty, you left no note, and the car was gone. So if we left a note saying we were going to go get Harry, would that have made things better and you wouldn't have gotten mad at us? Oh no, Mom's going to put bars on our windows so we can magic away. And then we get introduced to plot point number 2 of this movie. Ginny. See, and she's in the same boat that the other were first year when they couldn't act for crap. And they've gotten a little better. So, but they're still not acceptable as far as, like, if there were probably people more talented than them that just weren't picked because they didn't look right. I don't know about you, but when I guess I don't have like 12 kids. But when I walk into my house, if there's someone new sitting in there, especially when the rest of my family are redheads and this guy is a brunette, I'm going to notice him right away. It's also it's one of his best friend's kid is there, and they've known him for a full year, and for some reason he never came over in that time. But it's also like the key dad punishment is just like he's only punishing them because their mom tells him to. And he asks about the purpose of a rubber duck. Like, that's a new level of stupid for people to assume that every single thing that we have has a grand purpose. Also, where the f*** did Percy come from? Like, you get Ginny walking downstairs, but then Percy's just randomly there. Nothing gets by Dumbledore except for the fact we keep sending you to a shit-ass place. Oh well. Or that there's a house elf that went after you. Or all of the shit throughout each of these years that we keep from you. Ugh. And now another MacGuffin, where they're like, here's flu powder. Something that, like, I think has, 3 total uses in the movie series. I couldn't tell you off the top of my head for the book. But what better way to transport yourself as a 12-year-old child than with fire? And can you not take multiple people? Because I feel like you can. Like, that fireplace is big enough for 2. So if you're holding someone, could you both go? Because that would save Harry the shit that's about to happen for no reason. Like, so many things in this story, in this movie, happen for no reason. Like, for some reason he pronounces it Diagon Alley instead of Diagon Alley or whatever the hell it's supposed to be. And nobody tries to go. No one tries to repeat the exact same thing to go right after him either. But he just ends up here and, fucks up his glasses again. So, also, wearing your school robe outside of school seems like it shouldn't be something you should be doing. It seems like you should be, just wearing a plain black robe. Because if you got a little crest like that and you walk around anywhere where there's, normal people, someone's going to start questioning that. Small child poking the skulls in a bottle. Hey, here's this grotesque hand that's just sticking out of a slab. Why don't I grab it and see what happens? Is he a 5-year-old? Who goes and grabs creepy like that for no reason? Also, what is the purpose of the hand that just grabbed you? Yeah, Weasley, us normal people can do it too, fuckface. And then he just walks out of there like nothing. So why was he in that shop? Marilyn Manson, the witch. Oh, it's Nosferatus. Hey, dude. Are they going to give him a back alley witch job? He ends up in this place, and, it really seemed, I know he's 12, it's a little fucked up, but it really seemed like there was going to be a little gangbang there. I don't know why, but it did. Also, you have this place full of, bad dudes that gives you a reprehensible behavior just by being seen in, and yet it's one alley away from frickin' the main road. How many kids are lost down there? With all the magic in Harry Potter, there should be a spell to stop kids from going down there in the first place. Where the f*** did she come from, too? How did she just happen to be there? And I thought they weren't supposed to do magic outside of school. Harry said that in the beginning of this goddamn movie. We're not allowed to do magic outside of school. So, is Hermione expelled now? 'Cause f*** her. Ugh. And then we get to meet the best character in this movie. Yep. How to Tame Tigers, the book. That's not the character, but Gilderoy Lockhart, played by Kenneth Branagh. I swear, like, he might be a terrible shitty-ass teacher, but I love his charisma. He owns it. Like... And then Harry just happens to be there when there's this photo op going on. Like, I can't think of a more clever name than something like Harry Potter and the Chamber of Coincidence, where all this crap happens that really doesn't mean anything, but it's still, like, it's stupid that it all happens at once. Like, they never say that they're meeting up with Hermione. They never say, you know, he never brings up the house elf thing at first, which would have seemed like a really good thing to bring up to the people watching over you, like the Weasleys. Been like, hey, do you guys know about a house elf that just came and just visited me? Like, investigate this shit. And then the dude with all a ton of money in the Wizarding World just gets all the shit for free. It's kind of funny. You know, it's like, he's the kind of person I hate. The ones that are naturally talented at things, for the most part, and just gets all the shit for free. I'm with Draco on this one. You know. Also, like, do you just wear whatever the fuck you want and then just put a cloak over it and it's fine? Like, is that a requirement in the Wizarding World? Is you have to wear your school cloak over you? Because that seems like those people that went to college at an Ivy League school and were like, I have to wear my Ivy League patch everywhere because I'm so damn important. And you're just like, no. Now Lucius being a creep up on Harry. Oh no! The Dark Wizard who murdered people is being called a murderer? How offensive. I, one of his former servants, will take that. Like, he fucking cares. Like, goddamn. Lucius getting any kind of riled up about Harry calling him a murderer would just be like, so what? Like, yeah, he murdered a shit ton of people, your parents included. What are you going to do about it? Cry more? Wallow into some moving pictures that Hagrid gave you at the end of the first movie? Like, you're 12 years old. They died when you were 1. You didn't even know them. You know, grow the fuck up. I mean, can you buy secondhand books in Harry Potter's in the bookstores like that? Because it doesn't seem like any of these are really first-hand book, except for the ones that were, like, just released. But gosh, the fashion of this world. Also, if you travel by Floo powder, which I don't know how the Malfoys got there, because I assume they didn't take a car. But if you travel by Floo powder, you get smoke over you, like that makes sense. You get fire on you. So, what mode of transportation did Lucius take to get there? Like, it doesn't seem like he should be clean either. But Harry, okay, and also, Harry just saw him take the things out of Hermione's cauldron. And he put an extra thing in there. How the fuck doesn't he go, what did you just put in her book? And what were his hands doing? Just because we as the audience can't see his hands doesn't mean the character standing a foot in front of him can't see the same goddamn thing. Like, unless he, like, put it behind his back for a second and had the second book just sitting there in a great spot, you have no reason not to believe that he did that without them seeing. Also, this is, like, the first year that she's going, but didn't Ron go second to last before his parents? Like, this is the first time we're seeing the Weasley parents go through, so this is just some weird set of coincidences as well. Also, Hedwig would have died from that. Motherfuckers killed Hedwig like 5 books or 5 movies earlier. It's also the same guy who was there last year that asked about platforming 9 3/4 to. Also, what hitherto unknown powers... Okay, no, before I get to that. Oh no, the train leaves exactly at 11 o'clock. So we were running late as is. Like, really fucking late. Because we ran into that thing and just fell on the floor, stood up, and it was too late. Like, do you think they were gonna make it in time? Because it really doesn't seem like they were going to. Wow, and he actually has to tell Ron that they aren't used to seeing invisible cars. Or they aren't used to seeing flying cars. And he has to turn invisible. Like, either Ron is stupid as shit, or they were just like, oh, we need a situation for more conflict to occur that does nothing. Like, granted, this does more than Dobby showing up the first time, but it doesn't really do anything. And how do you not realize that you're in front of a train, not behind it? Also, what would be the problem with this? If you've gone fast enough that you are now ahead of the train, that means your vehicle goes faster than the train goes, at least to a point. Like, you don't have to make the twists and turns that it does. But yeah, like, it shouldn't be an issue. Also, Harry almost dying here. Like, another set of useless tension. And I mean, they're not wearing their cloaks either at this point, you know. I mean, I guess that kind of makes sense because they were just at the train station. But, dude, Harry's got to have, like, mad upper body strength. So does Ron if he pulls him in. But you know what would have been easier than doing that, Ron? Turning the car the other way. Like, if Harry can hold on to it that long, he could get back in. No, they're definitely going faster than the train at this point in time. So why was it a threat that they were behind the train? Just follow the tracks and go a little higher. Like, that is just manufactured tension for no reason. As is this. The goddamn car breaking down. If they just flown through the Great Hall, I would have loved that. Like, just f*** the Whomping Willow. Have the car fly straight into the Great Hall and have it drive around the school. Oh no, the 12-year-old can't drive a car properly as it stalls out and they crash? Also, if it's a magical car and it's, like, lost its power, then shouldn't it have just stopped midair and fallen like a real car would have? Or is it slowly losing its magical powers? Or... I don't know. Also, with how easily Ron's wand breaks, I'm really surprised more wands don't break by people just sitting on them slightly. Like, he slapped it a little bit, but it just snapped. Also, either this tree is weak, or that car is insanely strong. Because, you know, that tree is hitting it with full branches. Plus, the car just happens to start right now again. Like, what even is this scene? So we're like 20 some odd minutes in, and there's actually been nothing of relevance that has occurred, short of, and this was supposed to be sort of a sneaky thing, that Lucius, whatever, the Malfoy dick, he hid the thing inside of Ginny's cauldron. Like, that's the only relevant plot shit that's happened so far. All the rest of it has just been manufactured tension for the sake of making things seem more interesting. Which is a lot of the Harry Potter movies. But it's a lot of the Harry Potter movies as things happen that have very little to absolutely no relevance towards what actually happens at the end of the plot. You know. And they also don't get dressed, like, before going in there. How, How did he know they were going to be there? I mean, it's I don't know. Also, what is the significance of writing your words so they go, like, wavy along the page? Like, I don't know, you're trying to be unique and outstanding, cool, but, like, for a reader? Because, you know, it's not a magical ability to read curvy, you know, halfway written down the page words. It's just in the way. Also, why were they brought to Slytherin's, or to Snape's room? Like, this definitely seems like the Potion Master's room. But this also solves the conflict that Harry was having, where he was just like, I don't want to be in Slytherin, I want to be in Gryffindor. Because if he had been in Slytherin, he'd have gotten his ass kicked out just that very night. And the Harry Potter books would have gotten too long, not even too long, they would have gotten one long, with a little bit of a second one, and been over. When Harry Potter tries to learn to live in the normal world where he is from. Our teacher's gonna kick the shit out of us when she finds out about this. She's being nice to us and not expelling us? Woo! Bullet dodged. No. Truth of the matter is, you didn't dodge the bullet. Dodging the bullet would have been you guys getting expelled. So much shit would have gone completely differently. Also, had Harry taken that opportunity that he first sees Dumbledore to tell him, hey Dumbledore, someone said Hogwarts isn't safe anymore, and has been causing me all this crap so far. Can you rectify the situation? We meet our herbology teacher, who is, I think, the head of Hufflepuff. And since Hufflepuff are finding food, of course she's got to be fat. If I'm ever in a field of plants and they start twitching their heads, fuck that shit. Like, if it is a living plant, that is some scary-ass stuff. You know, minus the Venus flytrap, you know, the ones that just, you know what they are. If I just see a normal shrub just start twitching around, I am out of there. Also, these things can't kill you at this age, but they can paralyze you for a while. Let's teach 12-year-olds about it in a practical sense. Not through books, but in a practical sense. You know, and in the Wizarding World, you've got to figure somebody found out these lessons about certain things killing you the hard way. Like, the first person that discovered mandrakes was probably like, oh, hey, what's this thing in the ground? Pulls it up. Yeah! Dead. Next person walked up and said, hey, look, there's that guy dead over there. And then here's, yeah! And then died. Like, how do you end that, by the way? You know, someone walk with like headphones and just like, oh hey, what's this? Everyone around me is dead. Might as well stick it back the fuck in the ground. Ugh. And then they find out that they're good for, surprisingly enough, something super plot relevant later. Seriously. Harry Potter and the Chamber of Convenience. That is what this movie is. He also puts goddamn masking tape on it and expects it to work. Man, that was just a dick move right there. Also, they're 1 year older than this kid, but that kid looks like 5 years younger than them. Ugh. Oh, look at this majestic owl, sort of. Oh, no, he fucked up. Also, I want to see that kid's picture of that. And the bird, like... Fuck this shit, I'm out. Oh no, we as the audience don't know what a howler is. Good thing the movie is going to talk about how bad of a thing it is before. Ugh. Like... I mean, I would love to send howlers to people as, like, prank jokes. Like, that sounds like the best fucking thing. Just send them a wedding invitation that just says, I fucked your new wife! Ha 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 ha! Like, they wouldn't know about it at first. If they opened it and didn't see it, like, oh, it's a letter attached to somebody's present. Also, how fucking mortifying for Ginny that, like, the end of the rant against her brother gets just put right at her and be like, oh yeah, congratulations. And I'd just be like, I don't know who those people are, and I'm gonna go kill myself in the girls' bathroom now. I mean, say what you will about how shitty of a teacher and a wizard he is, the man knows how to dress. And Ron Weasley just gave his first impression of The Rock. You think that painting of him is stuck forever, painting that painting, never to finish it? Like, their paintings are movable, and you see that they have personalities in later things. But, you know, does that mean he's forever stuck just trying to finish that painting he'll never finish? Because, honestly, being a painting sounds like worse than death. It sounds like an eternal life of just getting shitty things to do, or not ever be able to finish. What happens if there's one of those, like, those, 9th century or 10th century or whatever paintings of people getting decapitated? Is that person in that picture forever going to be getting decapitated? Ugh. And then just releasing a ton of pixies on the class. Like, he is such a good teacher, and those books were probably a fucking fortune. Poor Neville. Poor Neville. Like, he's the butt of the joke in almost every movie, and even his recompense for that, so to speak, where he actually has something positive happen to him, it's not worth all the shit he puts up with. Also, why didn't his spell work? Like, it's shown that just, like, completing the thing throws the spell. But also, why does that painting care? The pixies aren't in the painting, are they? Dude, Gilderoy is goddamn immortal, pretty much, with all the things he has in his painting. But the fact that they're reacting is so stupid. Like... Also, how didn't that spell hit Neville too? How is he How is he so free to move if it was immobilis? Spells continuity makes no sense in this. Like, sometimes they work doing some things they do others. I don't know. Just bad continuity. Oh no! The Gryffindors and the Slytherins are trying to go practice their Quidditch at the same time. However, will this, relay to the plot whatsoever? Spoiler alert, it doesn't! Also, why do you need an entire, the field all to yourself to train your Seeker? Your Seeker's one fucking job is to go after a goddamn golden thing in the air. A regular field would do it. Also, the Nimbus 2000. That is the pinnacle of what they had at the beginning of the first movie. But then they make the Nimbus 2001. That seems like the shittiest next name. Also, shouldn't Ron be, harshly punished for attempting to cast a curse on someone else in the middle of the schoolyard? Yeah, he said a racial slur against Hermione, but that was still him trying to hit someone. And also, good on Ron for casting a successful spell. It just bounced back to him. So that's I think we're at the same number of spells that Ron cast in the first movie. His total. Huh. Also, only purpose of that entire conversation was to explain what a mudblood was and to show that Ron's wand fucks up. Only one of those things matters in the long run. And even in the long run, it really doesn't matter as far as, the entire movie goes. But, I also love how Hagrid asks who he cursed, and he says Malfoy, and he still feels like he needs to give a dignifier to it, when he could have just said, yeah, I tried to curse Malfoy. It's like, oh, okay, that totally makes sense. Harry throwing the word around too is real funny, because you just imagine the reverse of it. If you were just in a group of people and you didn't know what the N-word was, and then someone called one of your buddies that, he got real offended by it, and you're in this other group of people and you're like, what is that? And you say the word, they might beat the shit out of you. It's supposed to be on that level of a word where it's super offensive. But Harry just swings it around and he's like, oh no. Which, amazing it never came up the first year. It's like it's really relevant to the second movie and second movie alone. And that's more on the books than the movies, if you really think about it, where if Rowling had a full set thought as of the first book to what the last movie or the last book would have been, someone would have been referred to as a mudblood in the first one. I don't know. Also, Harry is helping Gilderoy Lockhart answer his fan mail. How is he doing that? Is he forging Gilderoy's name on the things he's signing? Is he just addressing them out? Also, how is that a form of punishment that you get away with giving? Oh, you have detention with Gilderoy Lockhart. And then you're just so, Professor McGonagall, Gilderoy had me helping him answer his fan mail for my punishment. McGonagall would have gone straight up to him and been like, what the f*** is wrong with you? That's not part of our academics. How do you do that for 4 hours and not realize? If I was Harry, I'd have been like, how much longer do I have left? Oh, we're going to be here for 2 hours, so an hour and 55 minutes. Okay. How long do I have left? Oh, an hour and 54 minutes at this point in time. God damn it. Then Harry just starts hearing voices. Ugh. Which it's interesting that when he first spoke to the snake in the zoo, there was no echo to its voice, or like, except for when it said the S on its thinks, there was no real like hiss to it. But this thing going through the pipes, which makes the echo make sense, but this thing going through the pipes somehow gives off, this to everything he says. Plus, if he is just hearing a snake speak, should they not be hearing just a giant, like, and, like, be questioning, what the f*** is that noise? But, oh no, Ron doesn't like spiders. I wonder if that will be relevant at all. Also, for the most part, movie never explains where this blood comes from. Like, the first time I watched this, truth, I thought that the blood was from the cat that was hanging up on the wall. Also, how did the cat get hung up there? Or was that just part of Ginny doing it? And then everybody from the goddamn school walks in at the same time with only one teacher among them. Until the goddamn caretaker walks by. Like, this goes back to what I was saying in the first Harry Potter movie. They need some goddamn supervision. Also, when the second thing you notice is the fact that your cat is hanging upside down, you're not a very good caretaker. And then threatening to kill students with any, like, just no real proof, just circumstantial proof. Like, ugh. And so if the lady with the witch hat in the back is... And how does he know it's them? Like, Harry is one thing, but how does he know it's Ron and Hermione too? Ugh. But, like, 5 of the teachers were together. Lockhart, Snape, McGonagall, and Madame Pomfrey, and Dumbledore were all together, where the rest of the student body was being watched by Filch, the nurse, and whoever the f*** that third teacher was. Which Filch isn't a teacher, nor is the nurse. But these kids are just allowed to roam across this giant frickin' castle unattended. Like, I'm surprised there haven't been more violent murders. And then Snape coming to the rescue just to kind of, like, stab them in the back. He's like, I don't recall seeing him at dinner. Which also means, does that mean Harry's not going to get fed tonight? Like, was part of his punishment, because Ron was having the same detention, so was part of his punishment, like, you don't get to eat tonight? Because that's real f***ed up. Now, granted, he's sort of used to it because he's from that super abusive family. But... Plus, not telling Dumbledore the truth here. Like, Harry just goes, I heard a voice saying kill. Like, if you think it's me, put me somewhere safe. Because if he's hearing this voice, it doesn't matter if they're like, well, it's not a good sign to be hearing voices, and even in the Wizarding World. He might have a mental illness. He doesn't, but he might. And they're just letting their could-be psychotic friend get away with not telling it. Ugh. Also, not a school to go to if you're afraid of heights, because those stairs look like they could kill you. It's a bit strange, isn't it? Which part The petrified cat, the blood writing on the wall, or the fact that I heard a voice that was saying something? Which one of those? All three of them? What? Also, Hermione, you've been part of the Wizarding World for a year and a week, maybe a year and a month. Don't go telling people what's normal and abnormal in the Wizarding World. Don't fucking know. You just read it in books. For all you know, it's a really common thing. They just don't write it down. Why? Why would you want to turn an animal into a cup? Like, what practical effect does that have where you're just like, I'm real thirsty and there's just water near here. I could scoop, in my hands and drink this, but instead, I'm going to turn my pet / just a random animal I see into a cup. And how dirty will that cup be when you transform it? Will that cup still have sentience? Like, well, it's a cup? Because it sounds real fucked up. Who also has the armadillo? Because it looks like a bunch of lizards. And then Ron had to use his pet rat, who is still in a half cup, half rat form. Like, that's fucked up. Teacher not, fixing that right away? Is she expecting Ron to fix it with his broken wand? Also, if his wand is backfiring spells, what if he tapped it 3 times, tried to cast that, and him himself had been turned to a cup? Does it work on people? These are questions the movie doesn't answer. I'm going to assume that in a real version of this, Ron just died there. I also don't get the full room of exotic animals for some random reason. It's amazing that the wizard that has the most pure-blooded, racist bitches in his clan, his house, is the one that really wanted a wife to go. That is a fucking big-jawed child. That is Jay Leno as a kid. If his jaw was any bigger, he'd probably be paying a zip code, or having a different zip code for it. You tell us about this big thing that, everyone's probably asked at this point in time about the Chamber of Secrets. Oh, yeah, no, we've searched the grounds for it, though. Well, then why the fuck is it coming back? That is a giant-ass quill on her desk as well. See, her glasses have glass in them. Draco's smug faces. It'd be an interesting tally to keep is the number of walking down the hall scenes there are, where that's just how they give exposition, is them walking, which, don't get me wrong, in theory, in between your classes, yeah, you'd be walking down the halls. But just, it's used so often that if they just did lip flaps over, they could do, 7 different takes from that same hallway shot, where they're just yeah, no, we're just going to use this for every movie when they need exposition. Just show the 3 of them walking down the hall. Age them up eventually. But, hey, look, it's Leto Chin. Man, I am having a hard time speaking today. Where the fuck were they looking then? If she's just she found it in a completely different aisle and they're back they're looking for some shit. Oh no, we're putting an arbitrary time limit on this thing where it's you need a month to make it. That is the only. I think it's the only. The only thing are potions that have such a crazy time limit on them. Like, because there's like in the 6th movie, there's one that takes like 6 months to make or something like that. This movie, the Polyjuice potion takes a month to make, which, you know, for a later movie, somebody's using Polyjuice potion all the time. They had to be fucking brewing that shit 24/7. But oh, yay! You know, it's funny that it's a running gag that Slytherin and the Gryffindor are the only match really worth watching. But, you know, I'm really glad that after the second movie it stops. Because I think the 3rd movie, you get like a real quick Hufflepuff versus Gryffindor. And then the 4th movie, I don't think it has any Quidditch in it whatsoever. Oh, no, it doesn't. But, like, finally, after this movie, they're like, okay, we can calm it the f*** down with Slytherin versus Gryffindor. So you can take a fucking, like, if you can take the bludgeon and swing at one of the guys and not get in trouble, like, what are the rules in this sport as far as that goes? Can you, you know, just beat the shit out of each other? Ugh. Hey, Oliver, you have this really, really bad history of... Yep, there you go. I'm surprised I didn't hit him in the head. Oh, hey, look, there's glass in his glasses now. See, this is the things that when you don't have it there, it becomes distracting when you do. Also, why wasn't the game stopped immediately after they realized he was being tailed by that thing? Because there's no, you know, unless they're supposed to have like a sentient personality all their own. He's just, that is just trying to cause as much property damage as possible. That is just being a dick. But no, like, should the game not have been immediately stopped and been like, oh, there's this thing tampered with? Like, because, you know, in fucking hockey, if the puck was always being pulled towards the other team, like, would the game not stop to change the puck out to make sure it wasn't being, like, tampered with? No, that sounds real and realistic, but still, like... Also, Quidditch, like, I don't know if I brought this up in the first one, but if you can use different brooms and everyone's not set to a standard broom, doesn't that give the people in this match that have the Nimbus 2001s, like, a huge advantage over the rest of the team? Because Harry was, like, unique in having the Nimbus 2000, meaning the rest of Gryffindor probably used just, like, shit brooms. Also, is there a reason to have shit brooms? Like... Is there a reason that people can't design their own brooms that are better? Like, and what if someone bewitches the snitch to like immediately go to a player? You know. Also, that kid deserved to die right there. I don't know. He has something happen to him later in the movie. I think he's one of the people that gets petrified or whatever. But he's just a little dickbag. Like. You know, Ron's sick and throwing up slugs. Oh, turn it around. Meets Harry for the first time. Takes a flash photo right in front of his fucking face. Like, people like that are the ones that deserve to be petrified and eaten by a giant snake. And... no kids. Such a proud and doting father. He's just like, Also, all the times you dodged that, Harry, you really didn't think it was coming back. Just suck it in your mouth again this time, Harry. That's how you do it? You like those golden balls in your mouth? Also, with a really good job grabbing onto that broomstick with a broken arm. And nobody still comes to his help yet. Somehow... that would have been no kids either. But freaking, how did they get down to the field so fast? Like, the first movie, she fucking teleports across the field to light Snape's cape on fire. This time she gets down to the bottom of the field super fast. Also, I mean, I know he says no, and he's like, oh, the boy's delirious. I'd be like, no. Somebody get him the fuck away from me. Don't touch me. I saw what happened to Pixies. You got your ass beat by Smurfs, like... And now the bone of my arm is gone. Which, the spell he cast was like Brachium Amende? Like, how do you fuck that up into making no bones? And this is not the last time we'll see Draco way overplaying an injury. Like, for real, there's tropes to these movies come a certain time where you're like, oh, Harry's in the hospital. Like always. Also, if you get something called Skelligro and you're missing an arm already, will it grow back the arm? Or the leg? Because there's a person later in these movies who's missing a goddamn leg. Like, could that have grown it back? Because if you say it's because magic got rid of his leg that it couldn't, magic got rid of his arm. Also, the place he's sitting is kind of, or not sitting, the place he's in is sort of like the outskirts of the school where, like, around him are nothing to go to. Why would the snake be above him? Like, he's like, listening like the snake's above him. There should be jack shit above him as far as piping goes. But... And now here's Dobby for a second set of Who Gives a Fuck. Like, is that, like, I'm wondering, the first time someone saw this movie, like, or when a kid watches this movie, is that a jump scare? Because in real life, if you're looking around and something's in front of you, you're going to freak out. Harry does a really good job of not doing it, but you're going to freak out. See, Dobby iron in his hands, little do you know he's a masochist. And he gets off on shit like that. Also, the child in the hospital has no supervision. Like, what happens if he has a goddamn heart attack? He's not attached to a machine. Like, the bone grows back wrong and it just, like, goes right into his heart. What are they gonna do? Oh, Harry died that night. Too bad. So sad. Ugh. Oh no, Dobby is treated like vermin, even though he's a shit person anyway most of the time. Like, I get that he's supposed to be, like, innocent or whatever and try and help Harry, but how are you so dumb that you think, one, fucking up his already really fucked up home life, two, locking him out from going to school and making him take a real risky way back, three, breaking his goddamn arm, are good ways to try to prevent someone from helping you. Like, there's a limit to the amount of being okay it is. But also, you know, Dobby is the Hagrid of this movie where he says shit he's not supposed to say. Also, why does he care if he's making noise? Like, if Dobby knocks himself out with that goo thing, then he has a knocked out house elf that he can be like, guys, there's this shit right here. This is what's been causing all of the problems. Somebody please get rid of it or help me figure out what's going on. But nope, he just snaps and disappears. And then Harry, with his glasses on, just jumps in bed and just goes, oh. Which is also another convenient thing. Oh, it's so convenient that he broke his arm and it didn't just get amended, you know, or not amended, didn't get mended instantly. It, he just happens to be there when Colin, the photo bitch, fucking gets petrified. Also, the wrong eye was open. Like, if he saw it through the camera lens should have been the one on his right side, but his left eye is open. Motherfucker should be dead. Also, they still take absolutely... The school still takes absolutely no action. They're like, oh no, it's not safe here anymore. Whatever should we do? Nothing seems like a good idea. Also, the coincidence that the place they're studying in just happens to be where the Chamber of Secrets opens. And I know there's the whole, well, Moaning Myrtle's the one that died by the basilisk, yada yada yada. But if the basilisk can travel through the pipes, it doesn't matter where the fuck you go. That doesn't have to be the entrance. You know what I really wonder if there are in Harry Potter's world are exorcists or ghost movers, because a few of the ghosts I can't believe died there. Nearly Headless Nick. That school has been around for a long time. I can't assume that all of these house ghosts, which that's the most fucked up thing to have. Hey, you died so that you could forever watch our school now. But our house ghost didn't die there. There's no way they died there. And now we get the dueling group. I couldn't call this a club because it just seems like everybody's got to go there. But so at this point in time, I have to assume that everybody knows that Lockhart's just a giant fuck up. And so I always wonder why people are joining this at this point in time. Like, oh, we can learn from Gilderoy Lockhart, a guy who can't even stop fucking Papa Smurf. Also, is he going to get that back from those girls? Because otherwise, those girls are probably going to use it for a very bad reason. Or he just is out like a bunch of money for what seemed to be a nice cloak. This also shows like the level of competence by which Snape has. So, he might be a dick, but he's a knowledgeable dick. It's also the... I think this is the first time they use the Expelliarmus curse, or spell. I don't know if it's a curse or not. I actually don't understand this universe well enough to make those kind of jumps. But Harry's glasses had glass in them again. But, and then that becomes like Harry's quote-unquote bread and butter. But, I also love how Snape wants to be a Defense Against the Dark Arts teacher, but he is literally like the best potion master. So, that's... I understand that kind of goal, where you're like, hey, I want to be something that I'm not already, because it seems like it's a really cool thing. But I'm also the master at this. Imagine if Madame Pomfrey's wanted to be the potion teacher. She's like, I am a master of herbology, but I want to teach potions. Too fucking bad. Ugh. And now we have Draco versus Harry for the second time? I'm starting to understand why people end up shipping the two of those together. They get so much like, I fucking hate you, I fucking hate you, I fucking hate you. That, 7 years of it, I'm sure that thought crossed at least one of their heads. Probably Draco's. But, he got his ass flipped. Also, cheated, but, Which, it's funny, because, these are just words. These are not given any explanation as what they do. You know. How does this disarm anyone? I mean, except for killing them. Also, you just brought a creature into being. What the kind of magic do you have? I can bring poisonous snakes into being. So, your family should never, ever, ever go hungry. You might get sick of snake meat, but you should never go hungry if your magic has the ability to do that. Eat big chin. Eat big chin. Also, they discuss this, but how the do you speak a language without knowing you're speaking a language? You don't just walk into, a Mexican bar and just start speaking Spanish and it's just like, oh, I didn't know I could speak Spanish. Like, in the magical world, I guess anything can be learned just randomly. But, I don't know. You set no rules to your... Oh, his glasses don't have glass again. You set rules to your universe and establish them. Also, it's given a lot of context that, the reason he didn't bring up Parselmouth is because, well, it only happened once when I was younger. Like, I'm sure loads of people can do it. No, it's not a really common thing. It's super rare. But you're like, he doesn't understand this. He's not like Hermione who reads all these books on it. He is a kid going into this universe who is still just a kid. And you expect him to understand all this shit. And yes, it helps the audience understand yada yada yada. But from a storytelling perspective, it's really fucked up because Harry's like, I'm not special in this regard. And he's like, oh, I guess I am special. Huh. There's a reason Slytherin's thing is a snake, because he can talk to snakes. So does that mean fucking Ravenclaw can talk to birds, and Hufflepuff can talk to badgers, and for some reason Gryffindor can talk to... I guess it's not a griffin. It's a... Goddamn, what is it? It's a lion, I think. I think it's a lion with wings, but I might be wrong. Also, this is just the beginning. Well, no, I guess this isn't the beginning. I guess the first movie was the beginning. But this is the various times. He also has glass in his glasses right now. This is one of the few times, like, the beginning of the times, wherever he's in a crowded area, everyone's staring at him. Also, how many poor birds are murdered a semester, or, like, plucked a semester, just for the writing utensils for all these students? Now, also, he hears it again. And truth be told, if I were him, my first thought would be, go back. Go back the way you came. Don't follow it. Every time you follow it, shit keeps happening. Let me go back and warn someone. Be like, hey, I heard this noise. Can somebody help me? But no, I'm going to be a fucking idiot and follow it. Yeah, he's 12 years old, but he's supposed to be a goddamn prodigy. So, he can make a smart goddamn move every once in a while. Ugh. So, if the ghost got hit by whatever the fuck it was, the basilisk thing, how is he not on the ground or through the ground or something like that? I caught you in the act. Do you even know what the fuck happened here? Because I don't. Also, Harry should literally be off the list. I mean, to the adults for the most part, he isn't on the list. But for the student body, he shouldn't even be close to a suspect. Because motherfucker was in the hospital when the camera dude got attacked. Like, if that's not a freaking alibi, I don't know what is. But, you know, the problem is, the reason that he can still be a suspect to people is because they get no goddamn supervision. Like, imagine if you were at a private school. You lived on the grounds, and there were even just 200 students. And they had 10 teachers to guard all 200 students. Fucking school would be shut down ASAP. Ugh. And yet Hogwarts, just because it's a school of witchcraft and wizardry, they need to have more supervision. Also, this seems like a super impractical way to get into a room where you have to say a password. Like, all of these stupid passwords for their doors, to get into their common rooms, to get into their headmaster's room. You know, I need to speak to the headmaster real urgently. Well, guess I can't fucking get in there. Like, especially because they change the passwords all the time. Ugh. And he gets his little conversation with the Sorting Hat where he's just like, I didn't want to be in Slytherin and you didn't make me in Slytherin. He's like, oh, well, should I have been in Slytherin though? And he's like, you would have been fine. He's like, you're wrong. He's like, well, then why the fuck did you ask me? If you already dedicated your ideas and you're not going to listen to reason when I say you would have been fine, you would have gone far, I looked into your fucking mind. You can't be telling me when I read your mind and tell you this fact that you have the ability to have this ambition that I'm wrong. Because you're just asking for no reason then. Now we meet Fox, which Harry just has the worst timing on everything. Like, he is just the most unlucky kid in this school. I can just imagine Dumbledore, because he's supposed to be kind of playful, but Dumbledore just being like, oh my god, you killed my bird! You dick, I'm going to expel you for this! I'm just kidding with you. It's a phoenix. You know, it literally caught on fire, Harry. How do you not know what a phoenix is? You're 12 years old. Even in the Muggle world, people know what a fucking phoenix is. Ugh. And this scene is way too Jurassic Park for me. Oh, you bred phoenixes? You didn't tell me you bred phoenixes. Ugh. Also, this is explained in the books, don't get me wrong, but in the context of the movie, why the fuck is Hagrid carrying a goddamn rooster? Or a chicken of some sort? Also, how did news get to Hagrid so fast that Harry could be immediately taken from the scene to go see Dumbledore and go up to the tower, yet Hagrid, who lives off pretty much like the edge of the grounds, somehow caught wind of it and came back while he was tending to a rooster or something? Dumbledore's literally asking you right now to tell him the truth, and if you tell him the goddamn truth, shit gets resolved. Dumbledore's smart enough to go, it's a voice only you can hear, and we just found out today you're a parcel mouth. I wonder if those two things go together. Which also, given the context of Harry going like, in front of the school, does that mean at the zoo, when he was talking to the snake, any passerby would have just seen this 11-year-old kid going, Nisha. Because, you know, as an adult, if I saw a kid standing next to next to a glass case, making that I'd probably question his sanity. Also, they just skipped right over Halloween. Like, for the world of witchcraft, it seems like Halloween should be the bigger celebration between Halloween and Christmas. Considering that, like, one of them is the reason that a lot of them were hunted. The other one is a time of the year where they can just walk around the Muggle world totally fine. Also, do you not notice, does Hermione not realize that the hair that she got off the coat of one of the Slytherin girls is nowhere near the length of the hair on the person's head? Because if I walked by this person who had long black hair and pulled a hair off their coat and it was like an inch and a half long, I'd be like, that's probably not that. Huh. Also, Harry's first spell in the entire series, I believe, was a spell against Malfoy. Like, if that's not saying "f*** you" to the Malfoys, I don't know what is. I mean, I know you live in a world of magic, but if you see floating cupcakes in the middle of the hall outside of the place where the food was, it's probably not a good thing to eat. They don't even measure that shit out. They just put a ladle full in there. I wonder if you took a hair off your own head and put it in there, what would happen? Like, probably nothing. But for the sake of one of the characters later, he's missing a foot and an eyeball. Should the DNA in your hair not actually, like, dictate your current age having those body parts? Their bodies are bubbling, they just explode, and that's the end of the series. Somebody made an advanced potion that they shouldn't have made because they weren't quite ready for it. Also, this must be the goddamn highlight of the career of these two guys. When Crabbe and Goyle get to pretend like they're Harry and Ron for a while. Why would you still sound like yourself? That doesn't make sense. Like, your body has physically changed to match the other person. Ugh. Also, I know this is done later, but smart idea. Have a little vial extra of the Polyjuice Potion if you start transforming back to keep it going longer. I mean, what is Percy doing down there? He might be a prefect. I get that shit, but at the same time, like, you're in the Slytherin corridor area. Should they not, like, should the person guarding that area not be the Slytherin person? Should the Gryffindor person not be guarding the Gryffindor area? I didn't know you could read. Somehow you're in what is quintessentially middle school for you right now, and you can't read. No, like, you'd be held back. Also, now they know Slytherin's password, so, I mean, I sense some shenanigans should be happening. They're so riled up by childish taunts. Like, oh, the Weasleys are a disgrace. Like, for some reason, Malfoy just knows the exact words to piss off Harry and Ron. But you'd think that they'd be like, look, we just need to steer the conversation somewhere else. But no. Evidently Crabbe and Goyle aren't the only stupid ones in this. Evidently ingesting their DNA also gives you some of their stupid. Also, like, he notices this real soon, but you should definitely notice that your buddies are acting real weird a lot sooner than he does. Also, if my two cronies started speaking completely different, I would definitely notice. I mean, and to Draco stealing that present, goddamn fault to whoever left it out there. You're in Slytherin. People have ambitions. My ambitions is to get more presents than you. I'm gonna steal the shit out of your stuff. It's weird to think that the person that Malfoy hates the most is not the one that he wants to kill the most. Because as much as he might dislike Harry or Hermione, he hates Harry. And then he shows up without his glasses back at the stall. Like, as someone who wears glasses, I know when I'm not wearing them. You're not just like, oh man, you know. Yeah, and also, does the Polyjuice Potion fix your eyesight as well? No, you walk down the hallway, you know, completely blind, but now this you need glasses for. Again, how do you mistake human hair for animal hair? Unless they have, like, real low thoughts about Slytherins. Jeez. Again, like, all the times, like, stairs, too. Stairs is another crazy place where they're always having conversations. Oh no, Moaning Myrtle flooded the bathroom again? You'd think if this was a common enough occurrence that they know it's going to happen, they would just shut off water to that part of the building. But I feel like that's a little too forward-thinking for the people at the school. Also, this is a very judgy ghost who's just like, you were in here earlier throwing shit at me, huh? Also, I don't care what year she's supposed to be, that girl definitely doesn't look like she's young enough to be a ghost of a student at that school. Like, she's like 20 years too old. And the pigtails, like, just make the aesthetic worse. It's like a grown-ass adult trying to look like a kid by getting, you know, a backwards hat or something. You know, it's the female equivalent of that. Also, when you die, do the glass for your glasses not go with you too? Because she definitely doesn't have glass in her glasses either. Look, I know I'm hung up on that. But still. Like, how hard is it to do that? Oh no, they found someone's little black book. I wonder who's, Oh, no phone numbers. That must be Harry's little black book then, because he ain't got no game. I just found this random book that belongs to some dude who had his name engraved on it like a twat. Jeez. Dude, that book is from 50 years ago and he had that name engraved on it. Like, that's just, ugh. And also, the first thing you do is like, oh, I'm gonna write in this what was recently today completely waterlogged book. Like, come on. Oh no, ink didn't go into it. This is the most magical thing I've ever seen. Fucking kids. And he's expecting an answer from the book. Like, what the hell is up with that? Again, he should ask people if this is a common thing, because this is completely Harry's ignorance being played off here. Because, you know, if he's just like, oh, this might be a magical artifact, I'm going to go give this to Dumbledore. Dumbledore will be like, oh, shit! Also, he writes his response isn't like the most, oh, God, what's the word? The poshest, like, hideous way. Also, is the means to write back dictated by the amount of ink that Harry puts in there, or can he write whatever he wants in there? Gosh, the premise of a sentient book would be a pretty awesome horror movie idea, I think. Although you'd have to set it like in the 60s or 70s or 80s or 90s, like before the internet was a big thing. Unless the book, like, it was like it's like the Page Master, where it shows you like this amazing fantastical world, but then like you go in a certain number of times and you can never escape again. Hey, a representation of this movie. Boring. Why is everything else monochrome? Also, if Tom Riddle is aware of the fact that Harry is reading his diary, like the spirit or whatever within the book, could he not have directly interacted with him? Like, or is he just like intentionally ignoring Harry to make this seem more realistic? Like it's a memory as opposed to something he's fabricating. But he's not fabricating it. Like this legit happens, I assume. I like how he says that questioningly. My God, Dumbledore was in this school 50 years ago, even though he looks like he's 1,000? What? This is another situation of, like, this is like sort of the opposite, where he's just like, do you have something you want to tell me? And Tom Riddle's like, no, and walks away. Like, this situation right here should prove to Harry that every year after this, whenever any mysterious crap happens, he should immediately go to authoritative figure and tell them the truth. Because Dumbledore sees right through your lies, but he lets you keep them because he's a nice guy like that. But if you just tell him the truth, stuff would be figured out so fast. Also, who the hell are the rest of these adults? Like, maybe those are the teachers for the time. But that is more adults together than we've seen in any other, like, single time in Hogwarts. What would have happened if Harry just stayed there? Like, if this is supposed to be a memory, shouldn't Harry be kind of forced to follow him? But no, he has to walk on his own accord. Fucking lazy books. Talking about the diary, not the Sorcerer's Stone. Although it is a child's book, so, you know. What? He didn't use Alohomora on that door? How did he open it? Also, was Hagrid, like, fully adult grown by the time he was, like, a 5th year or whatever? I know he's half giant, although you don't know that, honestly, if you didn't read the books or watch the 4th movie already. But I would have also liked them to show a young Hagrid, not just, like, have him look like the freaking monster from Young Frankenstein. Also, if you think that's the thing that killed the girl, I feel like that could be very well disproven. They're like, was there poison in the body of any sort? No? Well, then let him go. It obviously wasn't him. But they want to show like a racism against frickin' like people that like creatures and understand that, not all creatures are evil or some bullshit like that. Like some stupid environmental message, I'm sure. Imagine if you're in this room when Harry just pops out of a book like that. You just sitting at the campfire. Maybe it's like a couple fifth years together just making out, and they just see Harry popping like, oh shit! Also, like, if Hagrid had been found like responsible for having killed them, would he not have like been in jail for the rest of his life? Also, this is like the fourth time in 2 movies where they're just walking down a hall and stop somewhere, and the person they're talking about, or someone prevalent to who they're talking about, they suddenly appear behind them. Like, that's too much coincidence, too. Also, if those mandrakes have sentience, like, if they're creatures of some sort, they're literally just nonchalantly talking about chopping up a small creature and using it for, yes, to help others, but you're still chopping up an innocent creature. So this is also another sort of weird, stupid part where Harry has literally had the book for not even 10 minutes, and it's already been stolen from his place, with someone who decided to frickin' ransack it. Which this also shows, because you find out later it's Hermione that did this, the girls can go into the guy's room. So, again, come 6th, 7th year when they're sexually active, what's stopping them from fucking? Then, also they shattered his mirror for some reason. Like, what were they doing as far as thinking, I've got to search through everything to find this stupid book. Oh, let me shatter his mirror. Maybe he hid it behind the mirror somehow. Also, if Gryffindor is just getting ready, and Hufflepuff is already on the field, like, what kind of extra time is Gryffindor being given here to study before a game? Also, Hufflepuff is probably still under the belief that the game is going on, and if everybody's being evacuated to their classroom right away, what the hell? Oh no, Hermione. I wonder if she will live through this encounter. I mean, I know it's for the special effect of them being petrified, but you gotta realize that somewhere there is a wax, or whatever the hell they use for this, representation of a young Hermione Granger just sitting around somewhere, and that's just creepy. Like, that'd be the scariest, like, Halloween prop. Ugh. So, these rules McGonagall gives are such bullshit. You're like, yeah, you're going to be taking Toon from your classrooms. I, McGonagall, who am the only person in charge of the Gryffindor kids, will take all 7 years of you to each of your classes while teaching my own class. Like, come on. That's not a guilty look. I'm sure Oliver is just pissed that they had to cancel Quidditch again. Also, that invisibility cloak would have come in handy plenty of times so far. Like, trying to figure out what's going on with the monster. It's also, extremely coincidental that Hermione just happened to be attacked the time that she finally figured out what was going on. Also, if I was sitting in my door crossbow ready, two people suddenly popped out of an invisibility cloak, one of those motherfuckers be dead. Be like, ah! Well, I've got to explain that now. Did you hear about Hermione? Oh yeah, I heard about that. And you're just like, well, I better hope so, because that random Justin dude from earlier, you were in Dumbledore's office, in like minutes of that happening. So... And then what random luck did they happen to just show up right before frickin' the people show up? I don't know about you guys, but if my boss came to the door and I was pointing a crossbow at them, and I lived on the school grounds where they, were the headmaster, I'd probably be fired. Especially when the person next to him is like the dude in charge of all of the magical world where I live. I'd probably be like looking for a new place of work at that point in time. Also, what proof do they have that it was Hagrid? Like, that Tom Riddle, the person they now know as, Voldemort, was, the one that told on him? Or do people... See, this movie is so inconsistent. Ugh. Because they they have Hagrid, who was framed 50 years ago for killing the person, and then he had his wand broken. But then Tom Avolo Riddle became Voldemort, which is something that Dumbledore knows. We know Dumbledore knows that by the end of this movie. And so I find it impossible that he hasn't in some way, for the defense of Hagrid in the past, even in the past 12 years, just explained the fact that, obviously Hagrid wasn't the one that did any of this. He was set up. But no, all that shit goes down well. And then Malfoy just shows up at this exact same time in the exact same place to tell them that they're firing him, so to speak. They're suspending him from his job. But also, Hagrid doesn't help his case here when he's just like, you take him away, mark my words, there'll be killings. So you're gonna kill them? But no, it should be definitive proof that Hagrid didn't do jack shit. So why is he even a suspect here? And then Dumbledore just going and seeing through a freaking invisibility cloak. That he's just like, those who ask for help here will always receive it. And just like, yeah, but those who you ask to tell the truth and don't, you should probably wring it out of them. You'd save yourself a lot of trouble. I'm wondering if Harry at this point is just like, why do I even have this thing? Everybody finds me with it. But... like, how stupid does Fudge have to be with Dumbledore making that speech, and then Hagrid just to the world saying that? And can Hagrid see them? Because Hagrid looks right the heck at them. I'm not putting Hagrid in the same magical circle as Dumbledore. But... yeah, who's going to feed his dog, by the way? Like, are these guys going back there from this point on and keep feeding the dog? Because you never get that. Or is he asking Fudge to tell someone to? What is stopping there from being an attack a day? Dumbledore doesn't know what's going on. Like, the moment one student's alone, which, ergo, even with the stupid rule, there's going to be students alone, you should frickin', be a lot more victims at this point in time. And all the stupid coincidences that have left people to not die yet is so stupid. Also, how many spiders does Hagrid have in his house? I mean, I get that he's, like, friends with the giant one, but for that many to still be leaving his house. And for the fact that, like, spiders are supposed to flee before the creature that is in this movie, the basilisk, but there are still somehow spiders in the school after months of that basilisk being around. Why isn't it follow the butterflies? Because, Ron, in this world, if it was follow the butterflies would be like brain-drinking butterflies. That's how your world works. Anything that seems mundane is now murderous. You have a dog. Now you have a 3-headed dog that'll murder you. You have spiders. Well, now you've got like 10-foot tall spiders that'll fucking murder you. Like, what makes the magical world superior to the non-magical world? Oh, we can do spells, but it's like you're living in Australia where everything's trying to kill you anyway. Except for in this time in Australia, things are specifically made to counter your abilities. So it'd be like spiders that have a toxin that no matter what you use, you still die. Ugh. Also, why aren't they wearing their robes? You know, every other time in the first year, whenever they were anywhere during school time, they were wearing their robes. Ugh. Oh, and now we finally have the payoff for Ron not liking spiders. Also, how many spiders have they squashed by now? And would there not be some crawling all over them? If that 2-foot spider had fallen in front of them instead of behind them, they would not have gone in here. Again, from the first time, super impractical tree branches. Or not branches, roots. Like, those trees in that forest to have roots that size would all pretty much be the size of frickin', like, redwoods. But they're not. They're like pine tree size for some reason. Also, you need special abilities to speak to snakes, but for some reason, spiders are just fine. Like, is there a reason that counts as a rule? Should they not have to be like arachnamouths or arachnotongues? I don't know. With me, I'm not afraid of spiders. But the bigger the spider, the less afraid I am of it. Because, like, with Aragog, I would just ride him. You know, the little ones, they could swarm you. Giant ones like that, I mean, especially if you've got magic on your side, they're not a threat. Unless they're, like, magic-proof, which they aren't. You can just own the entire bunch as long as they're big enough. I wonder if when J.K. Rowling was writing this, she read Lord of the Rings, and she's like, oh yeah, Shelob, I can do that shit. I can totally do that shit. But I'll have her have a swarm, and it'll be a him. Because that's totally different when you change the gender and add more. You know, for as much as he is arachnophobic, Ron is super brave in this scene. More so than Harry's ever had to be so far. Like, if you're afraid of something and there's that many coming at you and you haven't just bolted and left your friend behind, you are a very brave person. But I also do have to wonder, how are these guys fed? Like, they talk about how Hagrid's been there before, but, like, this forest would be wiped the fuck out if you had to feed all these little mouths. Another really, like, worthless thing that happens, too. Like, this entire scene of them going into the forest to go find and follow the spiders. Yeah, it proves Hagrid's innocent, but there's no reason to think Hagrid was guilty to begin with. Hagrid not being there in this story makes no difference. Dumbledore not being there sort of makes a difference because they have no one to go to now. But, Hagrid being proven innocent and this car showing back up, like, it doesn't do anything, again, except for add false tension. Yes, Harry and Ron are going to make it through this. Like, why is that a surprise? I don't know. The Harry Potter movies, I feel, are rather well directed, but the stories themselves, they have a lot of fluff for no reason. Why are they here to prove Hagrid is innocent? Why does Hagrid need to be proven innocent? Because someone that we later find out to be pretty much the root of all the evil in this misled them. And then... I mean, this definitely probably hasn't helped with Ron's arachnophobia. But... why are they even surprised that there's this many spiders there? Like, oh, maybe we should have not fucking stopped in the middle of the goddamn forest while on the runaway. Like, and if the car's good enough to drive on its own, why did it need them to stop there? Like, just keep booking it. Again, artificially made tension for no reason except for to freak out people who are afraid of spiders. Man, those spiders are running as fast as a car. That is kind of crazy. Oh no, the flying gear is jammed. What will we do, Harry? Twist my knob a little harder, Harry. There we go. Now we can take off. But, I mean, they know they came from Hogwarts. Like, why not just go back there? Wait in the grounds right in front of the school, because Hagrid's not there to stop them. Also, like, if they're not wearing seatbelts, they're dead. Yeah, they weren't wearing seatbelts. That crash should have murdered them. Who needs elaborate death traps when you can just have normal automobiles just murder the shit out of your kids? Ugh. And then it's like, I just came from the place of spiders. I shall return there, never to be seen again for some strange reason. Like, I would have loved if in one of the later movies that car came back at some random time. Like the Battle of Hogwarts. Imagine if that car came out in the middle of the Battle of Hogwarts and it started wrecking people. How long has she been petrified that there's that bad of dead leaves? And also, where did he put them? Looks like he set them beside him on her bed, but you can't see them. There are some rather inappropriate jokes to be made here, but since they are 12, I will refrain. How did none of them see that? Like, for real? Also, the moment that you figure this shit out, you go to the teachers. Oh, I know what the giant monster is. Hey, McGonagall, it's a basilisk. What? It's a basilisk. Found it out. Now we can all prepare and murder the crap out of it. Because, like, them figuring out Moaning Myrtle, like, that's... If they figured out that there was a basilisk and they talked to McGonagall, McGonagall knows that Moaning Myrtle was the one that died, because you'd figure out she probably was. Like Harry does. But he also finds out that nobody saw the basilisk directly, which is the stupidest thing of, like, stupidest set of circumstances in this entire stupid movie. Is everybody lived. And Miss Norris, like, why was that water in the hall? They never explained that. Like, their series of circumstances that allow all of that happening are just so stupid. But no, the moment you figure this out, you go tell the teacher. The teachers get together and they go end this shit. Yeah, and Hermione, knowing she's going to get petrified, and they're going to find this in her hands a week later, she writes pipes on it, just in case that question comes into mind. What if it was pointing out the fact that the rooster's crow kills it? Like, you need those pipes, like, you know, a set of good vocal pipes. Also, since when did they have a freaking intercom? Like, come on. And then now all of the teachers have met up, and there are 6 of them. Jeez. Also, with the awareness that a lot of these teachers have had, like, in a later point, Snape knows that Harry's at a door before he's even at the door. But they can't tell that both of them are right behind him. And Lockhart is looking right in their general direction. Like, for real. Why would any of these teachers believe him? Like, I'm getting this feeling that they don't. But they're also, like, putting his life or the life of their students at risk. Both of which are stupid ideas. Ugh. Who did it take? Probably someone central to the plot that'll give a reason for it. Hell, what if it'd been someone just, like, nobody knew at this point in time? Like, goddamn, like, Lavender Brown. Oh, Lavender Brown was the one taken. Okay. Well, guess we don't have to go and save her. She can just die in there. But no, it had to be a family member. I mean, they also understand that Lockhart's incompetent from this stupid conversation right here, so... What about my sister? How do you know about that? I was eavesdropping on you. You looked right at us. Oh, well... Also, like, that's a wig on his desk? Does that mean he's bald normally? Use your common sense is not the phrase I would use for this movie. Because normal people, I mean, granted, normal non-magical people would have thought things through a lot better and actually trusted the adults. Because here's the truth of it. Harry has a reason not to trust adults, having lived with Uncle Vernon and Aunt Petunia his entire life. But given the amount of, like, caring and compassion he's gotten from Dumbledore so far, he really should trust at least Dumbledore enough to tell him the truth. But no, he's just gonna fuck around and not tell the adults. She's also super creepy because regardless of the fact that she is a ghost trapped as what is supposed to be a school student, she has been there for 50 years. Her hitting on Harry like she does is pretty much like Hagrid hitting on Hermione. It's real f***ed up if you think about it. Again, no glass in his glasses. Like, did they record it with that and just be like, well, there's a reflection off of it, and then just not decide to fix it? Because, like, what would happen if Daniel Radcliffe had really needed glasses and they'd done that? Would they have made him go blind for the scene? Also, I will tell you, from having listened to these, Parseltongue does not sound like a made-up language. Parseltongue sounds just like noises. doesn't sound like you're trying to speak to someone. When you're like, it really sounds like you're just sounding like a doof. Just happen to pick, like, the one. There's like 7 of those. Happen to pick the one faucet that has the snake on it. Also, if this school's been around for 1,000 years, that faucet should have probably needed replacing by now. Like, I don't know if you, like, understand how rusting works. Unless there's some magical non-rusting wizard thing, but given the shape a lot of things are in, I don't think that's true. Also, he goes in this movie from not even knowing that he's speaking Parseltongue, just to being able to speak it at will. Like, that really breaks apart the idea that he didn't know he was speaking Parseltongue. But yeah, there's actually 7 of them. Of course there's 7. That's J.K. Rowling's, like, lucky number is 7. Imagine if you're just standing there using that, and then somebody walks in and says that. Like, would that not freak you the hell out? He is also an adult male. He should be able to overpower 2 children and take their wands. Like, I don't care how gangly he kind of looks. These kids are real gangly. For the next 5 years, that'll be the only time Ron pokes anyone with his wand. I guess there were 8 of them, but now there's 7. Also, this is the time that one of you goes back and tells the rest of the adults when the other one goes down. Like, if this is a bottomless pit, like, you have just trapped yourself. There's no way to get back. There's no adults. Except for Lockhart, which doesn't count. Also, I mean, given that the plumbing should go this way, you'd think that there would be a lot more, water? And, you know, not that this couldn't have been 1,000 years ago, but, like, maintenance. Maintenance getting done every once in a while would have been nice. Oh no, it's a giant snake skin. Oh no. Like, Harry literally could disarm him at this point in time super easy. But no. Our hero must undergo this trial alone, so we will create a convenience to separate them. Like, you realize that happens the first year, both times. Actually, well, no, I guess the 3rd year is finally when it starts, like, he does everything with Hermione. But, for real, like, the first 2 books and movies are so similar to each other. Also, if he hit his head so hard it caused a cave-in, he's dead. Like, it doesn't matter that his memory charm backfired. He has no brain. It has been turned to jelly. Also, very convenient those rocks bounced the way they did, and just happened to fly right over him. But, Ron, this entire mountain fell on top of me. You okay? Yeah, I'm fine. And, who am I? The moment said something that to me, like memoryless, I'd just be like, wow, I lost my memories, huh? Interesting. Jeez. Like, that much being hit in the head can't be good for him. Yeah, Ron, you scroggly little bastard. You try to move some of those rocks so that we can get out of here. Totally gonna work. Especially since your wand just, like, shoots everything backwards. Yeah. Also, so it's such a coincidence that they are somehow able to find their way through the labyrinth underneath, because there were multiple ways they could have gone, but found their way to the labyrinth underneath that just happened to lead to the chamber. I don't know. Also, 1,000 years. This door still works. It looks rusted as hell. Imagine 50 years ago. The movie never happens. 50 years ago, he tries to open it and the door just, like, breaks. Basilisk stuck there forever. Aww. I wonder if after this becomes a more used part of the school. Like, I'm not just talking, like, after this year, but, like, after Harry Potter's time here. They're just like, yeah, we jerry-rigged the door open in the Chamber of Secrets, and now it's just used as a dueling club. Because, like, look at that walkway. Such a good dueling club to have. Slytherin could use it. Like, I don't know. So, given that she was, like, brain-controlled in this situation, did she just, like, brain-control herself to that point and just pass out? Also, good job dropping your wand, Harry. Your one defensive capability in this place. Shouldn't you be like 50 years older? I wonder if this Tom Riddle saw the Voldemort he became, if he'd just be like, no, I'll stay being a good guy. I like my nose. You gotta help me, Tom. There's a basilisk down here. Wait, why are you tangible? I thought you were a memory. Also, 50 years, their outfits haven't changed. Like, a little bit at all. You still wear the exact same crap. So when you're possessing someone, then you can speak parcel tongue? Also, still doesn't explain where she got the blood from. Just... Oh, jeez. I just had this terrible idea of her writing, but only be able to write once a month, and just think about that. Ugh. But... Exactly! Like, what are the odds that the person who finds that book is Harry? Why was she, like, was it immediately after a brain-controlling session down in the Chamber of Secrets that she found out she was having that and tried to throw it away? She's another character that should have freaking, like, talked to the adults, too. Been like, there's this book that's talking to me. Can you guys help me with that? Ugh. Oh no, Dumbledore is a threat to Voldemort or Tom Riddle or whatever the hell. Oh no. Who would have guessed that? That's only part of the first movie and why Dumbledore had to be removed then. Like, for real. The beats of the first two movies are so similar. Harry goes to the school after being with his abusive aunts and uncle. He's having a real time at home after doing magic. Which, granted, this one was Dobby doing it, but he still got blamed for it. But then he goes to school, and he has this MacGuffin show up. The first one being Professor Quirrell in Diagon, or the Leaky Cauldron right next to Diagon Alley. This one being the book that's given to Ginny in Diagon Alley. Like, then he goes to Hogwarts, and he finds out he has a unique ability. The first one is broom riding. This one's parcel tongue. And then he almost dies in Quidditch. Granted, one was a bludger, the other one was his broom being, jinxed. But then his friends try to help him, but oh no, one of the friends can't make it so far, and then the other one has to stop on the journey as well. So Harry finally faces the final bad guy, who is some variation of Voldemort, all on his own. Oh no. Oh, and Dumbledore had to leave the school for some reason. Oh no. Like, is there a point where people, just accept that it's just the same thing with a new coat of paint? Because don't get me wrong, this is still not a terrible movie, but it's still just the first one redone. Oh, and then also, in the final battle, in the quote-unquote final battle, the first one wasn't really much of a battle, but there's a MacGuffin that comes from him being the right person there. The first one was him wanting to find the Philosopher's Stone and not use it. This one is him being loyal to Dumbledore. But also, why isn't the hat talking right now? Also, why hasn't Tom Riddle just killed him already? There's no reason that he shouldn't have. I don't want to know what's on Harry's neck either. It looks like shit, but I don't want to know if it is. Don't look. What had happened to the first thing that popped out where was its face with its eyes wide open? He's still looking. God damn, he's the one that said the first time you hear anything, close your eyes. If it only obey... Okay, so here's another little, brain exploder for those who've seen all the movies. If it only listens to him, aka Voldemort, but the reason that Harry has the ability to speak Parseltongue is because of Lord Voldemort, then should Harry's Parseltongue not be able to still control the basilisk? To me, that just seems like lazy writing. Have another reason he can't do it. Not it only listens to my command. So, it's blinded. So what are you going to do? My first thought is run around it back to the person who is threatening me and have it just follow after that. But I guess I'm not a 12-year-old boy in a magical world who's deciding to run through the wettest place he could possibly go, so he's making footsteps the entire way. Take off your goddamn shoes. Be quieter. And there's rats. Have them mislead them that way. Man, bad day to be a basilisk, huh? First, people find out where you're living at, then a bird claws your eyes out. Now you gotta chase some boy down some sewer. Man, he has super blue eyes. The up closes, the close shots of his face just really show those deep blue eyes. Really hope there's not some point later about them supposed to be another color. Also, if you just hopped on the basilisk right now, climbed up and got right next to its neck, it couldn't do anything to you. Its fangs, on its face. It can't do shit to you. You are in the clear. So I would just ride that basilisk all the way back. And of course it pops out right next to where they are, and once again Voldemort chooses not to kill him. Gosh, Harry's hand looks like an old man's hand right there. I wonder if they just couldn't get him back for the scene, something happened, they just had some random person put their hand there. Don't move. Its vision might not be based on movement, but its hearing is. Like, stand still and you will be fine. Cut Tom Riddle's head off, actually, while you're at it. Like, I'm sure that at least something in that would do well. How does it know he's swinging at it? Also, it like pans like it's going to go at Harry, then cuts right to the right of the end. That guy just strikes straight, it's movie over. Yes, just keep striking randomly. Like, Tom Riddle can give this guy freaking like directions. Tell him where to go. It's almost like Harry's fighting against a giant prop. Also, how did he get stabbed there? Like, bit? Like, when he had the sword in the mouth, it doesn't look like he was bit. He just yanks it right out and suddenly he's bit. Oh well. The guy who's got to clean up the giant dead basilisk later. Fun for him. So, I'm talking to you guys about this movie as though you've seen the later movies on. So, let's talk about how fortuitous the fact that one of the 3 things that can kill a Horcrux happens to be one of the things that, comes out of the monster that is with one of the Horcruxes. Seriously, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Conveniences. Such bullshit. Like, had that just been a normal snake thing, and he just, like, stabbed it, and it did nothing, imagine, like, the twist on that. That's one thing. But, no, I just happen to have the tooth. Also, you have a wand, Voldemort. You didn't use it once. You took it away from Harry, but never used it. And we later find out it's literally the one that you use. Like, not exactly, but it's the exact same phoenix feather that you use. But no. Okay. Oh no! You've cut the binding of the leather! That is my biggest weakness! Hey, look, there's glass on his glasses there. God damn, I'm just gonna always point that out. It's there, too. Oh, I had the weirdest dream where I was possessed by a Dark Lord. How are you doing, Harry? Oh my gosh, I woke up next to Harry Potter. This is like all of my fantasies. What's that inky blood-looking crud between the two of us? Was that me or you? I'm dying, but don't worry about that right now. Go out there and find Ron, help him move the rubble, because he's not going to have done jack shit yet. I mean, that is a practical effect Phoenix, but he's gonna cry, and that's the funniest thing. Like, how like, is this, you know what, that's it. This Phoenix is the best actor in the movie. It can cry on cue, which is more than we can say about anyone else in it so far. Also, were that the case that Phoenix Tears had healing powers, don't you think Dumbledore would be like, hey, Fox, cry into this when you get an opportunity? Like, don't get me wrong, Dumbledore wouldn't be cruel to the animal, but he'd be like, hey, Fox, on a daily basis, could you just watch a really sad movie, cry into this, and then we'll save them for later? I just see Fox getting annoyed and just running the guy right into one of the stalactites and just taking him the heck out. Also, if there's this giant crevice near school grounds, don't you think somebody would have explored it by now? Like, is geology not something that they encourage anyone to learn in this school? Oh yeah, also the end where it seems like their actions have done nothing but good, or nothing but bad as far as their things for the school goes, but suddenly they're just getting commendations. Also, Hagrid just got sent to like the most high security prison there is in the Harry Potter world, but just a little letter from Dumbledore for his release papers can get him free, because it can't have been that long after, because they are still dirty and beaten up looking from that fight. But no, Dumbledore can just be like, yeah, give these papers to an owl that's in Azkaban. Hagrid will be out in no time. Like, I don't believe Dumbledore doesn't have that authoritative power, but the question is, if he has that level of authoritative power, how was Hagrid arrested in the first place and not immediately released? Like, just halfway on his way to Azkaban, just suddenly like, oh, turn around, he's going back. I've noticed some similarities between the Dark Lord and me. He speaks to snakes, I speak to snakes. He's white, I'm white. He went to Hogwarts, I'm going to Hogwarts. He knew you, I know you. He killed my parents, they were my parents. You know, all those similarities. And yeah, you know, they literally say here that some of Voldemort's powers were transferred to Harry. So why couldn't he have spoke to the basilisk? Like, he has the power of the error of Slytherin inside of him. But whatever. You know, I would love an office like Dumbledore's, where it's just all this space with just random shit all over it. And like, no kidding, that lamp he has on his desk looks like a lamp my grandparents have. Theirs is just like a green tint to it. So the sword, they talk about later how it's impregnated with the power of the basilisk. It's funny because you think about it. He grabs this sword, but he puts it in Harry's hands, like, and Harry grabs it by the blade. Harry gets cut by that. He's got basilisk venom in him again. Hell, if he got cut by that and it wasn't, because there was all that blood on it, he'd probably get that same thing. Oh, bullshit on Lucius knowing the password to get up to Dumbledore's office. Did Dobby, like, teleport them up there? Harry's such a dick to Dobby with this. It's like, oh, that's your master. Wait, how the fuck do you know my house elf? I mean, Harry, stab him right now, so many problems get solved. And you know what? I bet Dumbledore would cover for you. No one would be like, oh, Harry slipped, and as he did, the blade plunged itself right into Lucius's face. I think it would have hit his hair, but it was so greased back, it just went right into his face. Thanks, Morticia Adams. Just stabs Dobby in the face, too. It's like all your shit. Like, both you guys have just made my year such hell. See, problem to the book movie adaptation shit is that, like, I know I said this in the first one, and I will say this in every single one until then. Whenever Voldemort's name comes up in the book, everybody is, like, described as being noticeably uncomfortable in that. Like, but no. He says it in front of Lucius, who should be, like, terrified of that name. And he's like, huh. it's just like a three-way, well, like a 2-on-1 who's got a bigger dick fight, where, like, Dumbledore's just like, I know it was you, but I don't care, because I could still kick his ass if he came back even now. So do your best to bring back your master Voldemort. I'll take that bitch down. And Harry's just like, I'll be here too, I guess. And Lucy's like, oh, well, you know, I don't care. Dobby deserves so much worse after this movie. And then Harry Potter remembers something from the very first time. He goes, hey, you know, can I take this book that might be still insanely powerfully magic? And evidently Dumbledore says yes. It's Lucius Steele. Yeah, I think you slipped that diary into Ginny Weasley's cauldron. Yeah, you were there and saw it. How did you not bring up a point of that before? Like, I don't know what you're thinking, Harry, but you're not, like, with the tension between you guys at that time, you should definitely have just been like, hey, Ginny, is that diary supposed to be yours? No? Some guy named Tom Avolo Riddle? We should ask an adult about that. Also, this bullshit loophole to get Dobby free. Like, what happens? Like, there's so many situations where you could accidentally hand someone something that's clothing related. I mean, why should you care that he lost you, Dobby? 1, Dobby's terrible at trying to save people's lives. 2, like, Dobby was often enough away that you didn't notice that he wasn't. And 3, like, you're really gonna kill a kid over that. And what stops him from standing right back up and just killing them both? Like, I was super pissed off before, but now that you've knocked me on my ass, I'm feeling less pissed off now. Gosh. Dude, also just thinking about it, Harry spends like 30% of this movie covered in some kind of crap. Like, the beginning he has the Flu Network shit all over him, then in the Quidditch match he gets all dirty, and then now, like, when he's in the Chamber of Secrets, he gets all kinds of fucked up. I mean, to his point, he was never really trying to save his life in the first place. He was trying to kill him and get him away from something. Also, how do you administer a potion to a ghost? Like, for real. There's like, oh, hey, Nearly Headless Nick got hit by the full blast, but he can't die. He's already dead. Well, how do you give him a potion? He's ethereal. Like, he floats through the table. Ugh. And I'm here too. Gosh, these kids. This is like the time that their hormones start kicking in too, it feels like, where, like, Ron and her are starting to have that awkward, well, if I hug he'll think I'm kind of a slut, huh? Jeez. I gave you all of the answers, but I still can't believe you solved it. You guys are as dumb as shit. Oh, it's Madame Pomfrey's the nurse. I guess Professor Sprout is the Hufflepuff chick. But like, how fortuitous that year they happened to just be making mandrakes. Hell, Snape seems pissed that everybody survived. Like, Draco, that kind of makes sense. But for fuck's sake. Oh, yay, all exams have been canceled. Oh no, Hermione's pissed off because she's been unconscious for the last goddamn month and still thinks she can ace the test better than most. Seriously. The worst kind of worst kind. and now, forevermore, Hagrid will be fucking pissed at Ron's owl. I was stuck in this horrendous prison that sucks the soul out of you, but I'm going to make a joke about it because I'm out of there now. I mean, Dumbledore knew that Ron's bird was an idiot, so, like, was he like, I'm going to punish Hagrid a little more? Also, to that point, should now Hagrid not have his wand back? Like, it got taken away because of the Chamber of Secret thing. But now that they know he's, like, without a doubt innocent, and they've taken care of all the stuff pertaining to it, should Hagrid not be allowed to, like, get an education? Is that not how this Wizarding World works? Well, that's a tender moment that everyone was just staring at. When Dumbledore starts the slow clap, everybody better join. Gosh. These creepy smiles on these kids. God, Jay Leno's chin, son. I also love how one of the dudes has a bowl cut and it makes him look like Jim Carrey's character from Dumb and Dumber. Like, his face, his hair, he looks like Lloyd so bad. Yay, let's all have a cry and some claps and maybe get some nice soap to clean out our vaginas. God damn it. Like, I kind of get Gryffindor clapping for him, sort of. But why the fuck does anyone else care? He wasn't petrified. He was actually the one that they were blaming for for petrifying everyone. So, why did it suddenly go from, oh, well, he's innocent, so we'll all love him so much? Oh, a zoom out of the castle. And that John Williams score that everybody loves and just plays to death whenever this movie's involved. Jeez. Also, like 10 teachers for that entire castle. Bullshit. Anything is being kept in law and order. The second film by Chris Columbus out of these two. Well, we have reached the credits. I mean, it's hard to put this one compared to the first one. Like, they're super similar movies. They, they follow the same steps. I mean, they really do. If you think different, tell me. And I feel like if you actually watch this movie with that thought, you will be proven wrong. No? So, at the end of this movie, I guess I will give it, I believe the first movie I gave a 2.5, and I'm going to give this one the same, because they're pretty much the same movie. Well, I will be back soon with another Self-In-Flix-tion following through on this Harry Potter craze I'm going on. Thank you for joining, and start watching now. Hey, you!
Me?
Yes, you. Who else would I be talking to, you fat piece of shit?
Oh.
Do you like horror, suspense, and thriller movies?
I'm more like My Little Pony.
Then have we got the streaming service for you. Shudder.
But I said...
With Shudder, you get unlimited, ad-free streaming of great thriller, suspense, and of course horror for only $4.99 a month or $49.99 a year.
Oh, that is cheap.
Shut the hell up! That's what I thought. Shudder has the largest and fastest growing human-curated selections of thrilling and dangerous entertainment, and it updates weekly. Let's see what's on.
Wait, what? Oh my god, that guy just got his head chopped off. He just slit that woman's throat and is ripping out her still beating heart, it looks like. Yep. That was a heart he just pulled out. Oh, a shower scene. Yeah. Oh, she just got stabbed.
Shudder has a unique collection of exclusive and original films and series, horror classics, and blockbuster hits. How are you doing?
My little pony, my little pony.
Well, remember, you can stream it on all your favorite devices, like your iPad, right when you wake up. Or your Xbox One. Or your iPhone.
Oh, come on! Okay, just give me your phone. It's an Android, right?
Also, Android devices.
Jesus Christ!
Go to shudder.com/podcast. That's SHUDDER.com/podcast. And use the promo code CPLUS to get your 30-day trial free. And start watching now.